Welcome to our channel. Today, we pause to remember a life that touched hearts and left a lasting impact. We'll explore their journey, the challenges they faced, and the moments that made them unforgettable. Join us as we honor their story, celebrate their legacy, and reflect on the memories that will continue to inspire and live on in the hearts of those who knew them. Tragic news was confirmed early this morning. In a quiet hospital room, surrounded by family, television actor Dane passed away at the age of 53. The news spread gently at first. Then it moved across social media, where fans began sharing scenes, memories, and simple words of thanks. For many, he was more than a familiar face on screen. He was part of their weekly routine. Part of their growing up. Dane was best known for his role as Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy. Introduced as a confident and charming surgeon, his character quickly became one of the show's most talked-about figures. Viewers first saw the swagger, the smile, the sharp humor. But over time, they saw something deeper. Mark Sloan was not just a handsome doctor. He was flawed. He made mistakes. He loved deeply. He struggled quietly. And through that journey, Dane showed a different kind of strength, one that allowed vulnerability to stand beside confidence. In interviews, Dane once said, "I never wanted him to be perfect. I wanted him to feel human." That intention shaped every performance. It allowed audiences to connect not just with the character, but with the man behind it. Born in San Francisco, Dane grew up with a love for storytelling. Acting became his path early in life. Through small television roles in the 1990s and early 2000s, he built a steady career. Each part added to his range. Each experience sharpened his craft. Then came the role that changed everything. When he joined Grey's Anatomy in 2006, the show was already a cultural force. But Dane's arrival brought new energy. His chemistry with co-stars felt natural. His emotional scenes felt honest. And when his character faced heartbreak, loss, and redemption, viewers felt it too. Co-star Ellen Pompeo once shared, "Eric brought warmth to every set. Even on the hardest days, he made people laugh." That warmth extended beyond the camera. Crew members often described him as kind and protective. Someone who listened. Years later, he surprised audiences again with his role in Euphoria. There, he stepped into a darker and more complex character. A father battling inner conflict and personal struggle. The performance was raw. Uncomfortable at times. But powerful. Critics noted his courage in taking on such layered roles. One review described his work as quietly heartbreaking. It proved that Dane was not limited to one image. He was willing to grow. Willing to take risks. Behind the spotlight, Dane also faced personal battles. He spoke openly about his struggles with health and recovery. In doing so, he offered something rare in Hollywood: honesty. He showed that strength is not the absence of hardship. It is the willingness to face it. Following news of his passing, tributes poured in. A former co-star wrote online, "He made us better actors, but more importantly, he made us better friends." Fans echoed similar words. Many said his characters helped them through difficult seasons of their own lives. For nearly 3 decades, Dane worked steadily in film and television. But more than the awards or ratings, it was connection that defined his career. He helped reshape how leading men were seen on screen. Confident, yes. But also uncertain. Strong, yet capable of fear. In doing so, he reflected real life. As the industry pauses to remember him, scenes from his performances continue to play. The soft hospital lighting. The quiet conversations. The moments when a character's voice cracked just slightly. Those moments remain. Eric Dane leaves behind family, friends, colleagues, and millions of viewers who felt they knew him. His work will continue to stream into homes. His characters will continue to speak. And somewhere, in a familiar hospital hallway on television, Dr. Mark Sloan still walks with that steady confidence. Still learning. Still loving. Still human. In memory, his presence does not fade. It lives on in the stories he told, and in the hearts that received them. Tragic news was confirmed in Philadelphia this morning. In the neighborhood he helped transform, artist Isaiah Zagar has passed away. The streets of South Street feel a little quieter now. The walls still shine with color. Glass and tile still catch the light. But the hands that shaped them are no longer here. For more than 60 years, Isaiah Zagar turned the city into an open-air gallery. What began as small mosaic pieces slowly grew into something larger. Murals spread across buildings. Mirrors reflected passing faces. Words and symbols covered brick and stone. He did not simply decorate walls. He told stories on them. Born in Philadelphia in 1939, Zagar studied art at a young age. After time spent working in Peru, he returned home with new ideas. He believed art should not be locked inside museums. It should live in the streets. It should belong to everyone. And so, he began. Over decades, more than 200 mosaic murals appeared across the city. They wrapped around storefronts and climbed along narrow alleys. They covered empty lots that others had forgotten. His work became a part of daily life. At the heart of it all stood Philadelphia's Magic Gardens. What was once a vacant space slowly became a maze of color and texture. Broken tiles, bicycle wheels, bottles, and handmade pottery were placed carefully into walls that rose high above visitors. The garden felt alive. It felt personal. Zagar often said, "Art saved my life." He spoke openly about his struggles with mental health and pain. Creating mosaics became his form of healing. Each piece of glass, each mirrored shard, carried emotion. His wife, Julia Zagar, stood beside him through the journey. Together, they supported local artists and small businesses on South Street. What had once been an overlooked area slowly grew into a cultural landmark. A longtime neighbor once shared, "Isaiah didn't just change buildings. He changed how we saw our city." That sentiment echoed online as news of his passing spread. Many posted photos taken in front of his murals. Others shared quiet messages of thanks. One local artist wrote, "He showed us that broken pieces can become something beautiful." That idea defined his life's work. Zagar's mosaics often included words, thoughts about fear, love, faith, and survival. They were not always easy to read. But they were honest. They reflected both joy and struggle. They invited strangers to pause and look closer. Visitors from around the world traveled to see Magic Gardens. School groups walked its narrow paths. Couples took wedding photos against its mirrored walls. Musicians performed beneath its towers of tile. Through it all, Zagar continued working. Even into his later years, he could be seen placing new pieces, adjusting small details, or simply observing quietly from a distance. City officials called him a treasure of Philadelphia. Art historians described his style as deeply personal and impossible to copy. But to many residents, he was simply Isaiah, the man who believed that art belonged on every corner. As tributes continue, his murals remain exactly where he left them. Sunlight still dances across the mirrors. Rain still washes over the colors. And strangers still stopped to take it all in. In a world that often moves too fast, Isaiah Zagar asked people to slow down. To notice the small details. To see beauty in what others might throw away. His city became his canvas. His pain became his inspiration. And his imagination turned ordinary streets into something unforgettable. Though he is gone, the walls still speak. They reflect not only light, but memory. And in every shard of glass, every painted tile, the spirit of Isaiah Zagar remains, woven into Philadelphia itself, forever part of its story. Tragic news was confirmed late last night. In Los Angeles, surrounded by family, actor Dane passed away at the age of 53. The announcement was simple. The impact was not. Across social media, fans shared quiet scenes from hospital hallways and emotional goodbyes. Many remembered the first time they saw him walk onto the screen with calm confidence and an easy smile. For years, he had been a familiar presence in living rooms around the world. Dane became widely known for his role as Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy. When he first appeared in 2006, the character carried charm and mystery. He was bold. At times reckless. But never shallow. As the seasons unfolded, audiences saw more layers. Mark Sloan was not just McSteamy, as fans called him. He was a father. A friend. A man learning from mistakes. Through heartbreak and loss, Dane gave the character softness beneath the surface. He showed that strength could exist beside regret. In one interview, Dane once reflected, "People are complicated. That's what makes them real." Those words seemed to guide his work. He never rushed emotional scenes. He allowed silence to speak. Co-star Chandra Wilson once said, "Eric brought depth to every moment. He made you believe every word." Crew members described him as focused but kind. Serious about his craft, yet generous with laughter between takes. Born in San Francisco, Dane discovered acting during his school years. After small television roles in the 1990s, he slowly built a steady career. He appeared in dramas and films, learning the rhythm of storytelling. Each role prepared him for something larger. That larger moment came with Grey's Anatomy. The show was already a success. But Dane's arrival added a new energy. His characters' relationships felt real. His struggles felt personal. When Mark Sloan faced consequences for his actions, viewers saw growth, not perfection. And when his storyline came to an emotional end, many fans felt as though they had lost someone close. Years later, Dane surprised audiences again with his role in Euphoria. The character was darker. More troubled. A father wrestling with identity and private pain. It was a performance filled with quiet tension. Critics noted his courage. One review described his portrayal as brave and deeply human. It showed a different side of the actor. Not polished. Not heroic. But honest. Through these roles, Dane helped reshape the image of masculinity on television. His characters were confident, yet uncertain. Strong, yet vulnerable. They made mistakes. They asked for forgiveness. They tried again. Behind the camera, he also faced personal challenges. He spoke publicly about health struggles and recovery. His openness allowed others to feel less alone. It reminded many that even those in the spotlight carry private battles. Following news of his passing, tributes came quickly. A former colleague wrote online, "He showed us that real strength includes vulnerability." Fans echoed similar words. Many thanked him for characters that reflected their own imperfect lives. For nearly 3 decades, Eric Dane worked steadily in film and television. But his greatest gift was connection. He made audiences feel seen. He gave depth to men who might otherwise have been written as simple heroes. In hospital corridors on screen, in tense family dinners, in quiet emotional scenes, he brought authenticity. He allowed viewers to witness both pride and pain in the same breath. As the industry pauses to remember him, reruns continue to play. Younger audiences are discovering his performances for the first time. Older fans revisit scenes that once moved them deeply. Eric Dane leaves behind family, friends, and a body of work that will continue to speak. Somewhere in television history, Dr. Mark Sloan still walks through those hospital doors. Still learning. Still loving. Still flawed. And in that reflection of strength and vulnerability, Eric Dane's legacy remains, not only as a leading man, but as a reminder that true character is found in complexity. His stories endure. His presence lingers. And the screen feels a little quieter without him.